good morning and welcome to the video. So I thought I'd take you through where I'm currently sitting with food at this point of off season, which is basically peak everything. Peak body weight, peak food, peak sups, peak performance. Everything is the highest it's ever been. We are just sitting shy of 250 pounds now. So 248 there or thereabouts. It's not all about body weight, but for the body composition that I've got, and with 250 being on the horizon, I'm pretty excited about that. We know progress has definitely been made. We've got a long time before we even see it back on stage, so what more progress can I make? So 248 pounds, food, as I said, it's the highest it's been. 4,850 calories on training days, which is today. It's not an issue as long as I'm eating early enough. One bit of advice from myself is, like, if you are on a high amount of food, eat earlier in the day. Don't start eating at 9-10 o'clock in the morning, because then you've got a shorter window to obviously get your meals in. Start eating earlier, like it's 6:30 now in the morning. This is the first meal going in. I've got so much time to get those 6 meals in. Obviously, if I'm eating shit food, 5,000 calories would not be an issue, but we're trying to be a bodybuilder here, so we're trying to stick to our plan, our clean food intake. So we give ourselves obviously that bigger window of opportunity to get all those meals in. The last thing you want to do is like get to 9-10 o'clock at night and you've still got 1 or 2 meals to get in. It's a task, because you're having to stay up later to get that meal in, or you're even falling asleep and then getting back up to eat it. And for the first time in my life, I'm actually conscious about my sleep to obviously aid recovery. So we're trying to sleep on point. We want to go to bed, sleep, and then wake up the next morning, not get up an hour or 2 later to eat our last meal. So this is the first one going in. It's the usual suspects. We've got Trained by JP cream of rice, 100 grams of that. That's the chocolate hazelnut spread flavour. And then also 60 grams of the vegan protein, which is a chocolate caramel nut. There's a lot of chocolate going on there, and that's a schoolboy error on my part, because it's difficult to get in all that chocolate. If I was in prep, it wouldn't be a problem. Right now, it's an issue, and this is very soon to become a blended drink, so I can just neck it and get it in, because it's a bit of a task eating it. So we've got 100 grams of that, 60 grams of that, 150 berries, 20 grams of almond butter. This is the first meal, and we will be training in about 90 minutes time. So I've got enough time now to just get this down me, get work done, get ready for the gym, prepare my sups, go train, and then crack on with the rest of the food for the day. Alright, so we are down here in Miami, good old freaking Miami. Calvin hates Miami, I love Miami. So sadly I don't get to enjoy it because Gordon's not here. We're gonna head back to home tonight. Can I just record this clip quickly?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? I can get it done in 3 minutes, babes. Post-workout, posterior session done, decent. Just to touch on the posterior session, I've kept the numbers low on my pulls from the floor. It's actually the 5th exercise in my session now. But I've kept the numbers low while I'm pulling, just so that I can focus on my hammies, not my glutes, because anyone that knows will know my glutes rule the world. So I've been working with like 4.5, touched 5 today, got 9 reps, very pleased with that, felt strong. The 2 rest days I've taken in the last 3 days helped, even though I felt a little bit dodgy going into the session. I got more tired, if anything. So post-workout, this is meal 2, is cereal, modern day bodybuilder, eat your heart out. I'm using Choco Shells, Harvest Moon's finest, Aldi's finest. 175 grams of that. We have 400 ml of almond milk and 60 grams of this in a shake afterwards. I used to like mix this up, pour it on there. It's a struggle, like I said in the first meal. volume and that is, so I just neck that in as little water as possible just so I can get it back, and I can chow down on this. I've never been a fan of milk, but you know, it's part of the plan, so it's got to be in there. So 400 ml of that almond milk, and that is meal 2, which is a total of 756 calories. So between 985 calories. First meal was 756, and then intra we just had 1 serving of the performance fuel from Trained by JP Magic 10 with some EAAs, and the calories for that was 180. So I'm going to eat this so the missus can get on her call from work.
Yeah, like the whole reason that we all started doing this was because of how much passion we had for it. Like that's the why I'm doing it. I'm like, this is fun. I want to do it. There's no real like huge thing in it. And it's like with this, it's like, dude already has 6 Olympia titles. He's literally the most popular fucking bodybuilder since Arnold.
People think of Chris as like a superstar like that. He is a superstar. He won 6 Olympias, so great
Damn
to go
right
into
he
the
is.
Open and do very
So
good.
meal 3, demolished. I had a little bit of a hypo because I left it too long. Team spoon. If you're in Team Spoon, let me know in the comment section. We don't eat with forks. It's easier with spoons. So that was 200 grams of raw mince, 130 grams of raw rice. Veggies are optional. Veggies are out. They'll come back in prep. So in terms of where that is calorie wise, 701 calories. So the carbs, basically raw rice comes back as 101 carbs. So what I do is I cook all my rice for my rice meals for the day in one go, basically. So I'll cook 390 grams of raw weight rice. Usually comes out around 300 grams of cooked weight. Obviously the amount of water you use determines how much that weighs, but on average it's about 300 grams. What I do once it's cooked, I'll weigh it all out and I'll split it into 3 portions. I'm not going to weigh the water that I'm cooking it with. I weigh enough things through the day, so we leave that. I'll just gauge it by eye with how much water I put in the rice cooker. And then the mince comes out at about 140 cooked weight, and I'll cook 2 portions of that in one go. So 400 grams of mince, and then I'll split that into 2 simples. Just to touch on meal 2, which was post-workout, the cereal. When I've posted my meals on Instagram, people have asked me why cereal. Why cereal? Yeah, why cereal? I'd rather not eat it, if I'm honest. I'd rather have chicken and rice, but it's on the plan, and I'm going to do what it says on the plan to get as much out of this off season as I can, and I think that rhymes as well. Cereal, basically, after you've trained your body, this is the dumbed down version. We're not the science channel, so the dumbed down version is your body is more sensitive after you've trained. You want fast acting carbs, sugars, etc. to get in there, hence why we use cereal. But we don't choose any old cereal like Crave, although I do love Crave. We choose a low fat option. Basically 3 grams of fat or less per 100 grams serving of cereal. Those choco shells that I was using, I'll also use the Cocoa Pop balls, like the larger ones. People will use Cocoa Pops, people will use Rice Krispies. So that is the reason we use cereal. It is 3 p.m. now. 3 by 3 is the rule. 3 meals by 3 p.m. That will keep me on track for the rest of the day, because what I'll do now, I'll probably start eating my meals closer together. 3 p.m, 5 p.m, 7 p.m, and then 9 to 10 p.m. Tonight we're going to a Halloween thing, so we're leaving at 7, so I'll get my last meal in, or my 5th meal rather, and then head to that. I might record stuff on my phone and put it in there, and then when I get back I will have my last meal, which is actually my first meal on my meal plan, but obviously I've trained earlier today, so my pre-meal was slid forward to meal 1, and then meal 1 I put to the end of the day. Why do I do that? Because that's how I like to do it. I like the meal 1 as my last meal or my first meal, either or. It depends on how it falls. So I'm going to crack on with work, and then show you my next meal whenever that comes.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's something straight physically on your body and internally, right? Like you said,
My one and only chicken meal of the day. Yes, one chicken rice meal in a bodybuilding diet. Who'd have thought? I'm using these, which are the quick cook chicken breast sizzlers from Aldi. They're quite thin, so you can cook them up. Take about 15 minutes in the oven. One a pan, obviously a little bit quicker, and just cooking a full pack, because that will sort me out. And if the missus needs any, she's got some. Really nice. Or if she doesn't, then they'll come for my one chicken meal tomorrow. I've had a question as well about like how many meals per day. Like I'm doing 6 meals a day. The clients I coach, depending on where they're at with everything, they might be on like 5, some are on 6 as well. Does it matter? When you like break it right down to the basics, no. What matters is how much food you get in throughout the day. Obviously, we need a protein feed every 2.5 to 3 hours, so as long as we get in regular protein feeds, the more meals you can kind of space your food out over, that's going to aid digestion. You're not going to have any issues there. But ultimately, if you're busy, you've got a day job where you can only, I don't know, eat like 2-3 meals in your full shift, it's going to be quite hard then to like fit your other 3, potentially 4 meals in around that. So if you wanted to maybe make bigger portions throughout the day, so that your meals are obviously bigger, and you're doing 3 or 4 meals instead of 5 or 6 or even 7 meals, then that's what you got to do. Like, it is what it is. You've got to do what you got to do. It's not optimal. The most optimal way is sitting on the sofa all day, getting up, eating your meal, going back on the sofa, doing nothing if you're a bodybuilder. But unfortunately, myself and most of you guys watching this live in the real world, and that can't happen. So you just got to do what you got to do and what fits in with your daily life. If I've got a busy day with shoots, sometimes I will cram 2 meals together and I'll do 5 meals instead of 6. I'll just have one big meal at some point in the day, which is going to fall nicely so that I'm not squeezing other meals in on top of that too close. So there we go, a little bit of dedication while I'm playing about with this chicken. I don't know how many times I've flipped it, so we'll just keep on flipping. Hi guys, so on to meal 4. Chicken, as I said, 150 grams cooked weight. The rice, as I said in the previous meal, 130 grams raw, 300 grams cooked. We've got 10 grams of olive oil on there. We know when the oil comes out, it means business. So 10 grams of olive oil. This is the complete meal, so that adds up to 753 calories. And it is 5:15. So eat this and then get the next meal in just before we go and get scared shitless by the zombies. Right, we're going vloggy style for meal 5 because I'm rushing. So, same meal as before, which is the lean mince, 140 grams cooked. The rice remaining in the rice cooker, which was 130 raw. Once again, 300 grams cooked. This is normally a steak meal, so that would be a little bit more fat. So what I'll do, just to top the fat up, because I'm using lean mince, is add some more of the old olive oil, just 5 grams to bump that up. And that is the calories are on the screen. Let me just show. 701 which is 54 protein, 9 fat, and 101 carbohydrates. So we are off to the Halloween thing that the wife is really looking forward to, if you could see behind the scenes right now. And then I'll see you, I'll get some shots on my phone, and then meal 6.
This is another Hood classic.
Raphael and Akeem are doing Prague. Where will Chris place it?
I think he'd be battling with Raphael and Akeem.
You were like 8. Ian's 5th.
Finishing the day off where we started. It's 2 minutes to 10 p.m. You know you're on a lot of food when you take the kids to McDonald's after the Halloween shenanigans and you don't even want one. You have a Diet Coke instead, because you got this to look forward to, which is meal 6. This is originally meal 1, which we swapped around. Always a struggle, this one, because I'm tired, and tiredness is probably taking over the fact that I've got to get this meal in, but we've got to get this meal in, so I'm sat here eating it. So this is 200 ml of egg whites, 3 whole eggs, 2 whole bagels, 746 calories. So that brings my total for the day, macros wise, to 363 protein, 74 fat, 683 carbs, 4,850 calories, just shy of 5,000. But I'm going to slap 5,000 on the thumbnail because it's YouTube and that's what you do. So there we go. That is a full day of off-season eating currently where I'm at. I'm sure it's going to go up. But we're not going to push, well, I say we, Cal, I'm sure, is not going to push it harder than we need to push. If we're growing, the weight's going up, training is still performing at a high level, we'll hold it. So there we go, people. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm not going to do the usual end off for YouTube because I don't think that even works anymore. If you haven't done those things by now, like, comment, subscribe. You're not going to do it now. So thank you. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to finish watching Bro Chat, which I've been watching throughout the day in intervals, and get this down me. So peace out and happy Halloween.
That works for me. He was tied with Ian for 5th.
And Brett.
Brett looks good.
Brett is also tied.